Hi guys, this is Carissa and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Inky Fairy Designs. I have a new mixed media page for you today, kind of combining two challenges, one with the Dina Wakley Media Challenge on Facebook to use watercolors, and then the other one is this challenge board right here. It's from Our Mixed Media Moods, hosted by Didi and Mixed Media Jen. I will have a link below to the Facebook group that you can join to take a look at the challenge and their YouTube channels as well. This is the picture that really inspired this page, as well as the color, the coral of this, and the quote there. But yeah, I have been stalking these challenges for as long as I can remember them. Always wanted to do them. Got to do one or two before, but this one had like my favorite colors right now, which is this coral peachy color, as well as those flowers that were in the mood board. Really, I just wanted to paint them. I just had to paint them. And so I've been wanting to try just plain my favorite watercolors in the Dina Wakley Media Small Journal, because it is a heavy watercolor textured paper. It almost reminds me of like rough watercolor paper, because it is very thick. And I really wanted to see how it would react to me using my watercolors in it. I've been thinking about getting one specifically for watercoloring, and doing this page, I'm definitely going to do that now. I really love the way that it handled the watercolors. I did a little dry, wet on dry watercoloring here with this rose that I'm doing, and I kept this part in real time. I'm going to do the whole one rose in real time, and then I'll go ahead and speed up the rest of the video, just so that it's not too long. But this page really didn't take me that long to create, maybe about 25 minutes, with footage. I didn't do it all in one sitting, of course. With kids, that hardly ever happens, but I managed to get in some art here and there over the weekend, which was really, really nice. I hope everybody had a great weekend. If you are a mother, I hope you had a wonderful Mother's Day weekend. I hope you got to be able to spend it with moms and all of that. All of that good stuff. I had a really good weekend. I got a lot of art done, a lot of reading done, which I don't do normally, and just fun with my kids, playing games, laughing, and just like my favorite things. So here I am. I brought in this Hooker's Green by Daniel Smith. The pink that I did on the rose is a Holbein shell pink, and then a Dore, Rose Dore by Winsor and Newton. I have the full list of supplies in the description box below if you guys want to check it out. But don't really think about the colors too much. You can do this with any colors that you wanted. I was just really trying to match the mood board, plus I just got these watercolors and I really love them. I love them as much as I thought I would, and so I've been using them a lot, or just wanting excuses to use them, and this was one of those excuses. So you can see I had to add a little bit more from the tube here because I have been using it. And I'm actually really enjoying using watercolors straight out of the tube. I still use my pans, and there's no reason that I haven't panned these other than I don't have any empty pans right now. So I have been using them straight out of the tube, which has kind of been nice. It's a little bit different, the way that they, they're wet already and then adding water, and I don't know, it's just been a really different experience. So but yeah, you can see there how I kind of touched a little bit of that darker red color to the areas that were already wet on the rose, and it just spread out beautifully. And that's one of the things that I really was testing on this paper, is how it reacted to watercolors and water, and does it will it bloom really nicely? Will the water spread really nicely? Will it react, will it set in the pages, in the paper fibers or not? But it's 100% cotton paper, so it really reacted the way that I would expect a watercolor paper to react with just regular watercolor paints. And I'm really excited to get a second one and just have it filled only with watercolor paintings in it. I will keep this one more for mixed media. And I haven't tried gessoing any of these pages yet for any of the journal pages that I have done in here. I've done a few. I haven't shown any of them. One will be up on the Ranger blog at the end of May, around May 23rd or something like that. And then the other one I'll probably put on my channel next Monday. But to show you kind of the different pages I've done in this journal so far, and just adding paint to it right off the bat. It does seep in, obviously, with this cotton fiber. So if I was going to go in and do just strict mixed media next time, I would probably put some gesso on the pages just so that my paint will move a bit better. You'll see here as I add some acrylic paints to this page how it really, I had a hard time really kind of moving it because it wasn't gessoed, but I loved the effect. I love the texture of this paper. Even on some of the watercoloring, you can see, as my brush didn't have a whole lot of water on it, I got those really cool dry brush textures with this heavy paper. And I just love it. I think it's awesome. If you haven't picked up this journal and you've been thinking about it, I think it's definitely one you'll love having in your studio. So that's the watercoloring. I think pretty much finishes that up. I think I'm going to I really wasn't happy with the jar. I tried to paint a little mason jar, and it's funky. I wasn't completely happy with it, so I kind of tried to fix it. That didn't really work, but once I get the paint on the background, I like how it's kind of just very abstract looking. One of the other things that you may have not noticed, this paper actually really lifts really well as well. So, So, that's another thing that I look for in watercolor paper is that, is it going to lift the paper or the paint off the paper? Is it going to stain? This one actually lifts really well, so I was pretty impressed with that. So now I'm going to come in and start adding some acrylic paints. You saw I pulled out the mineral paint from the new Dina Wakley collection. I'm just trying to match that picture from the mood board. I mean, I really didn't take any liberties with this. I loved that picture. I loved the kind of cracked two-tone background that it had, and so I went with that, and after painting my flowers, I started filling in my background. And this is something that I've never done before, at least I don't think so, I can't recall, like doing straight up watercolor and then adding some acrylic paint to the background, and I kind of really dig how it looks. I don't know if it will be something that I'll continue to do. It might be, because I can really combine the two medias that I really love. Here's the apricot that I'm going to use for the top part of the page. And I'm really watering it down just with some water and a paintbrush, trying to get it to move. But you can see that it, because I didn't gesso it, it's really kind of just sinking into those fibers and not really getting good coverage or movement from it, but I like the way that the white of the paper peeks through in all of those valleys and stuff, the texture of it. So I was really, really happy in the end where it ended up. Here I was kind of thinking, what did I just do? But spreading the paint around my little mason jar kind of softened that up as well, because the paint reacted with the watercolor, and I liked that. So I just added some, after I dried that layer, I added some splatters with the watercolor paint. So this isn't acrylic that I'm splattering with. You can see I'm using my watercolor brush. I forgot to mention, for my watercoloring, I did use a silver black velvet round 8 brush. That is my favorite. and this is Blushing from Dina Wakley Media. It's my favorite color, and I thought it matched the that like upper right hand corner of the mood board perfectly. And I wanted to bring in some of the design texture elements that were on the mood board, so this stencil really caught my eye. And so I just stenciled that paint through on 3 areas of the page or the spread. And when I added this, I was like, okay, this page, I like it. So I had actually started this part the next day. So sometimes you have to kind of leave it and walk away, come back to it, and you'll get an idea of where you want to take it. So I decided to add some collage words. I was going to add some journaling along that kind of two-tone line, or where the line separates, but I decided not to. I caught this quote caught my eye from the Collage words set. The magic of doing, I think is what it says. And that it really spoke to me because there's like a quote about magic on the mood board first, and then or savor the magic of doing, because doing is so much better than not doing. And sometimes I think about doing art a lot, and I don't ever like really sit down and do it, because it could be a lot of things. It could be fear of messing up or fear of not being good enough. Those are probably the 2 things that really hold me back the most. But when I do it, and when I absolutely just sit down and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do something. A lot of times my husband is the one who will encourage me, go down there and do something. The kids are asleep, go down there and make something. He's so right in that I sit down in one mood and I leave in another. And it's just because I did it. It doesn't mean that I love it or I'm super happy with it or I think it's a masterpiece or anything like that, especially in my journals. But it's just the art of doing it. And that something in that brings there is magic in that, and there's peace in that, and there's so much in it. So if you are ever thinking that you are not good enough, or you don't measure up, push those thoughts aside and just open up a page and just put some paint down. Just do what you love. Play with your favorite colors. Like this has a lot of my favorite colors in it. It has the watercolor flowers that I love to paint, and I'm just super happy with it. And I got to play in the Our Mixed Media Moods Challenge, which is something that I always want to do every month, but I never do. So I'm doing it now. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I thank you guys a lot for the comments that you left on my daughter's voiceover takeover video last week. That was so fun. She loved all the comments. And now she's wanting her own YouTube channel. So thank you. But yeah, guys, I appreciate this. I hope you enjoyed the close-ups. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. And one thing that you can really do to help me grow is share this video across your social media. Share it in maybe some mixed media groups that you're in, or just on your Facebook page. It will really help me grow, and I appreciate that. So until the next video, stay inspired, be creative, and share that with others. Bye.